Okay, Corey. Well, good morning.
Good morning, man. Thanks for
Thanks
having me.
for, yeah, you were welcome. I'm happy we talk now. Just to start a conversation, I've been following your videos obviously for some time and they were very helpful. And then during this, there was one video you went on someone podcast and you share your story. And
Yeah.
that's actually got my attention. I thought, oh, that's an interesting story, and we share stuff in common, and that will be interesting to bring you on and talk about your life, just personal stuff, because I want to bring people inspirational content. Basically, it's transformation.
Yeah.
That's really the purpose here. Is like interesting people with interesting stories, how they move, from darkness to light, basically.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. That's very much what I do with my work, healing work, writing, everything kind of. That's the essence of what I do. So I thought, okay, that's very interesting. Maybe we can talk and you share with people your path, and then
Yeah.
we get, kind of free flow conversation wherever it takes us.
I
The
love it.
idea is to educate my audience and bring them good content because I respect people time and attention. So I want the best for people who follow me, basically, in any aspect. So how about we just start from you? Just share your life story.
Yeah, man. And I'll kind of give you the whole snapshot here. It started with me, very troubled upbringing, nothing new, right? A lot of people have a troubled upbringing, but my story is I resorted to alcohol and drugs for a very long time after my troubled upbringing. I was an alcoholic, man, for like 25 years. I mean, it was a very long time that I went down that path, just basically of self-destruction. I didn't love myself. It was very dark in that regard, and yeah, and that lasted for, like I said, like a very long time. And I tell people that entrepreneurship and more real estate specific, because that's what I was starting to pursue, saved my life. And of course, there was some other things that was mixed in there too that helped along. I mean, I did a lot of plant medicine stuff, a lot of mushrooms that really help bring things to the light for me. But when I got into real estate, man, and this was about, oh man, about 12 years ago, 14 years. I was in real estate for about a decade. I got into real estate because I was chasing the dollar. I watched that fix or flop show on HDTV where they would fix up houses and they'd make like 70, 80 grand. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could figure out how to do that on the side. At the time, I was working in the casino industry. I was a blackjack dealer, which paid pretty good. It wasn't like the greatest, but I mean, you could make six figures over a course of a year in tips. So it was really, really lucrative in that regard. And I had some money saved up. And the girlfriend I had at the time, we used to watch that show together, and she'd be like, "Yeah, why don't you flip a house so I can list it?" And so I did, man. I ended up buying a distressed house. I flipped it. It took me 6 months to do. I made 8 grand. It was great. I didn't lose any money on that one. On my third deal, though, I did lose a lot of money. I lost a crap ton, and the contractor took me to the cleaners because I was a newbie and I just didn't know what I didn't know. And I didn't want to give up real estate, so I hired some mentors. I started joining masterminds, and this is what was really pivotal in my entrepreneurial journey. When I got around people who were trying to level up their life beyond finances is great. You got to have them, right? Like
Yeah.
if you want to have time freedom, you have to have
Yeah.
you have to be kind of wealthy. But they were leveling up their lives mentally, spiritually, physically, and financially. And those are the four pillars I live by now, and it taught me through being around these people who are always trying to be better in life at every aspect of life. I learned to love myself. I got closer to God. I started going to the gym and running. I started getting into meditation. I started getting into books like Dr. Joe Dispenza wrote. Michael Singer is another. He wrote a great book, The Untethered Soul. Absolutely game changer in my entrepreneurial journey. He teaches in that book how to stop clawing your way in life to success and let God guide you in your life to success. And so like, you know, this is all came about from just chasing the dollar. And for me, it was because God knew exactly how to incentivize me. He knew exactly, wow, he's not incentivized or motivated by anything but money. So I'll kind of use money as a
It's a
tool.
medicine.
Yeah, and it worked. It really did work. And I remember, man, the day that the switch flipped. Now it it didn't happen instantly. I started loving myself over time. It took a while. You know, it was probably over the course of, you know, 3 or 4 years. And, you know, the part of my soul and body was getting very tired of the drinking and the drugs and the lifestyle I was living. And I remember, man, we were out in this park, and there was some of my close friends, and we were doing mushrooms. And we were out there and we went pretty deep. And it showed me, mushrooms showed me, and I kind of knew it in the back. It's funny how you kind of know these things, but it's like in your subconscious. It's not in the forefront of your brain, but it showed me why I was such an alcoholic and drug addict and what I was running from. It boiled down to my father, right? And I didn't realize this. Now I look back, I'm like, how did I see that? How did I not see this? Like, it's really odd. But it boiled down to my father and the stuff I was running from as a child. I was blaming him in the background for everything, and I'm like, man, I was playing the victim role, you know, subconsciously, even though consciously I was learning how to not play the victim role in life. Like, because playing the victim role will do nothing but keep you in the same place when you're blaming everybody else for your results. That's why people stay poor, actually, is because they play the victim role. And so, like, and it's funny, I'm learning all this consciously, but I didn't see that part. And it took me going deep on mushrooms to that being revealed to me. And as soon as it was revealed to me, I was like, holy crap. It was like this light went on, light bulb went on, like, oh my God, I can't believe I was been playing the victim role the whole time. That I went sober. That was the pivotal moment. I went completely sober, and I haven't looked back. And I mean, I went cold turkey sober. No alcohol, no drugs. I mean, I was big into cocaine. Cocaine's very addictive, as most of your listeners probably
So
know.
you had
Very
money.
addictive.
Cocaine is money. You weren't poor.
Well, I was working in the casino, making good money there,
Oh,
and I
and
was
that's
flipping
how.
houses now.
Oh, okay.
I was flipping houses now,
Now let's go.
and I was going in, you know, I was my entrepreneurial journey was starting to
Yeah.
take off. And I was starting to
Mhm.
make some money, but like I was still
Mhm.
drinking, still doing drugs, and like, but I took that. But there in those, and like I said, it wasn't that moment that changed everything. It was the years leading up, and I was learning to love myself, learning how to like
Mhm.
appreciate, and I was getting closer with God and what he had given me, like appreciate what he has given me, and really understanding the gratitude of life. And I mean, it was, but that was a pivotal moment, man. And I went sober from that moment. I haven't looked back. And yeah, man, it was awesome. And so I tell people entrepreneurship was the kindling that lit the
Mhm.
fire for me to start learning how to love myself. And now, man, I'm married with kids. I live in Puerto Rico. It's, you know, amazing. And yeah, and we obviously have a lot of success in our lives, not only in the real estate space, but in digital assets. Like, so we do a lot of things, you know, as far as financial, but man, I'm always trying to get better, spiritual, mental, physical, and financial. Those are my four pillars that I live by. How can I get better and closer to God every single day? How can I get better, you know, at my physical like well-being? I want to live to be 120, man. I want to make sure that I can see my daughter's kids, right? This is
Yeah.
very important to
Yeah.
me. And so I work on the physical stuff. Like, I just got all my blood work done, and like I'm diving into every little metric to say, okay, how can I optimize this? What new nutrients in my food that I need to make sure I'm getting? What supplements can I be taking to optimize and make sure that I have longevity in my health? And so it's just, you know, I'm looking how to get better at all those things. But man, it all started by chasing the dollar, which is crazy.
That's crazy. It's like it's good story, really. It's very different. Like it's completely different from my story because I was running away from a dollar. I was in spiritual kind of search of my life, where like you perceive money as evil. That's kind of the
Yeah.
That's kind of an indoctrination. It's like money, possessions, materialism. It's evil, so you have to kind of strive to higher, to the light. And that was like the whole life was just running away from this. And I write about this in my latest book. I just share with people that something I never share with anyone. It's just kind of funny. But when I was 20, I was looking for wisdom. When I turned 40 and got some wisdom, I realized that I need money. So it's like, okay, here we go again, but that's like from another perspective, So
Then
the
bingo. There you go. It's money is in itself is not evil. It's
Not at
man.
all. Who
It's
doesn't?
man.
Of course, it's what do you do with money? With money, you can feed people or kill people.
Yes.
What do you do
Oh,
with money? It's energy.
100%.
It's the same thing as I explained in some of my books. It's the same thing with guns. Same thing with fire. Fire is not bad. Guns are not
Oh,
bad.
right.
Guns don't kill people. People kill
No,
people.
people kill people.
I mean, fire is not with fire. I cook my food. I take care of my family. I keep my family warm. It's
Right.
amazing. Thank you. But if reckless use or evil use, you can burn down the house. You can burn
Burn down
down a
villages.
city. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
a forest. So same with money. It's energy. It's just energy form.
That's
It's
all
what
it
you do
is.
with it. You can do good things with money, and we need money. And the problem with the world is that too many bad people have all the money.
Yeah.
Not enough good people have the money. That's
Yep.
that's the evil of the world. That's why we're seeing what we're seeing, because monopolies and corruptions and cronyism, all the evil dudes got all the cash. That's why
Yep.
we're all screwed. So I'm trying to reverse that in my way, which is a very mini way, but still, if we all do like the mini job, it accumulates. So I'm trying to change things, and that this is why I brought it into my whole work, and I got some criticism on that too, because my books are
Sure.
on spirituality, plant medicine, healing, understanding, enlightenment. And here suddenly I speak, crypto, real estate, money to people like, hey, what's happening? It's like, guys, you don't understand. It's like this is the way forward. I mean, you cannot you can be all you want spiritual,
Yes.
everything. But if you are poor, you can't do anything, your family
Can't do it.
suffers, and you feel miserable. You know what I mean? This is just wrong.
Right.
And that's what I see in my medicine. It's like my medicine brought me to it. It came from my medicine. That's why I'm so like,
Yep.
it's like I'm so like my conscience is clear. I can talk about this, I can do this. It's like it came from my ceremonies. The medicine is telling me you got to develop this because you're strong in every other aspects, but not in this. I'm like, okay, so now I need to. Okay, you know what I mean? So that's in the last few years.
There's a saying that I can't take credit for this saying. I can't remember where I probably read it in a book. That money is an amplifier of the person you already are. So if you are an evil
Yeah.
person at heart, and before you have money, obviously when you get money, you're going to be 10 times,
More
20 times
evil.
more evil. But if
Yeah.
you're a good person at heart and you get
Hmm.
money, then it makes you 10, 20, 100 times more of a good person because you can provide more value and
Yeah.
more good to the world when you
Yeah.
have wealth under you, and it gives you wealth. You can't have time freedom, which is what my definition of wealth is. I want to be able to do
Yeah.
what I want with
Yeah.
whomever I want,
Absolutely.
however I want, when I want. And the only way I can do that is with money. Like I have a family and I want to be able to create memories with them, because that's the one thing I do believe we could take beyond to the afterlife is our memories of that we create here with the ones we love. It's not the things, it's not the Lamborghinis we buy or the houses we buy. It's family and friends and the experiences and the
Yeah.
memories. My goal is to create as much of that as possible. And I'm telling you, it takes money to do that. It does.
It
And
does.
so,
That's the matrix we live in. I mean, we have to obey. I mean, we have to obey to a certain extent. I mean, this is the rules
yeah,
of the world. I mean, nobody gives you food for free. I mean, nobody feeds my kids. You know what I mean? So I
no,
do.
nobody.
You know what I mean? And I pay everything. So it's like it's kind of hypocritical to say like, oh, money is not important because it does. It is important. I mean, you can
It
do
is
nothing.
important. Like you said, it's
Yeah.
energy. You
It's
you hit the
energy.
nail on the head.
Yeah.
Like I believe we're here as humans on this earth to provide value to our fellow humans. And that is the key. Like if you provide enough value to your fellow humans, you're going to get paid with energy, and that energy is money. And so obviously you can do the opposite and you get money for evil, but that's why I believe we're here is to provide value to each other and help each other grow. And I mean, look at Elon Musk. People, they talk crap about him, but like he provides so much value to the world. I mean, I have internet. I'm on this internet
Mhm.
here in Puerto Rico.
Mhm.
My internet sucks if I don't have his Starlink. His
Mhm.
Starlink, it's going around the world and giving people internet in places that never had it before. Look at the Tesla car, the electric car, getting us off the petrol fuel. He's providing massive, intense value to humanity, and of course, he's making a lot of
A lot
money
of
doing
money.
that,
But
right?
he,
So
he
he's
also
expecting
let
the return.
he also protect the free speech, so you have to give him that, It's like
Yeah, and
is
so
X is the only place where you can speak nowadays.
yep,
So I mean, with all, I mean, you just give the credit where it's due. So
yeah.
I was a real estate too when I was in California, still living there, and I was there during the 2008 crash.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I've seen the whole thing from inside, and it's all in my new book. It's like I share with people this, stories,
I'll
and
slide. I have to
I've been
read
in
it.
mortgage and real estate, so
Okay.
subprime, ninja loans. I'm like, what the hell is happening? Like, this is going to crash. This
It
thing is
was
like it sounds
insane.
unsustainable. I'm like, okay, and this is when I wanted to get to foreclosure, but I didn't have money there. I was kind of slave to the system, just paying bills. You know what I mean? But I knew people who did that, and I was kind of assisting them. And I'm like, man, I want to be that guy. I want to invest, in the fixers and flip them and just, and go chill in Peru for a year. You know what I mean? Doing my
Yeah.
things. But I never got to this point there, although I was aware. So it was interesting to hear you about this. And I said, okay, we share this, and also, of course, the past and the darkness and the drugs. I've done that too.
Yeah.
So. So that's very interesting story. So maybe we can move to like from real estate. Like, what is your current vision of the world, like of finances, and where are we going, and what is the because I'll tell you this in my new book, the latest
Yep.
one, which is my fifth book. I just published like I don't know 6 months ago, which called Unplugged. Psychedelics, farming, and crypto, the three pillars of freedom. So
Love
that's
that.
and I shared it all there from my perspective and seeing and explaining people like why I think that is, because you have to have, spiritual freedom. You have to have a mind
Yep.
freedom. That's where that's like number one. And if you believe, TV doctors and do what they say, or just for an example, that you're not really free. You have to make your own mind on things and have your own conclusions. And this is freedom of mind. So psychedelics
Yes.
give you that. It's like it just shows you beyond programming, beyond narrative, and kind of direct perception of reality. So that's one. Then I speak briefly about farming because this is where we're going. I mean, you don't have farming, you don't have food, then you will have Bill Gates synthetic meat on the table. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
Klaus Schwab's
Eat the
bugs.
bugs.
Exactly. So this is like super important, guys.
I
And
know.
then you need to have financial freedom because without that, you have nothing.
Yes.
You absolutely nothing. And I kind of bring crypto as a tool, to do business, to live outside of the system, outside of the banking system, outside of these criminal crooks who just want to control our lives. So if we have a tool to trade with each other, then we can give them a big finger. But if you
Yep.
don't, that's it. And now they are moving into CBDC, which is total nightmare if we allow that to
Right.
happen.
Socialism.
That's a total, like, this is Orwell on
Socialism.
steroids. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. like a lot of people, they think about digital assets and crypto, and they're like, oh my gosh,
Like a
that's just another
casino.
scam out there. It's just another way to people to get my money. And it really isn't. Like, there's a lot of synergies in between the crypto space and then, like, in freedom and spirituality and the stuff that we all believe in, because cryptocurrency was invented to give us self-sovereignty. It was invented to free us from the big banks, big centralized entities, and governmental control. Governmental control, they have the control on us because of the fiat system that we're on. That's the dollar that we know of, right? That's in our wallet that we use and go spend to buy food or whatever we need. That system is controlled by them, and they control it, AKA with the Fed and the money printer and everything else. And they make all the rules with that.
Yeah.
In fact, what happens in our economy is we work hard, whether you have a job or you're an entrepreneur, and you put these dollars in your bank, and they get less value. They become less valuable every single day because they're printing more money, and they don't give that money printed to us. They give it to the people who are closest to them in Congress. I mean, someone like Nancy Pelosi, who has a $200,000 a year salary, makes like 20 million in a month because she's not only she close to the money printer, because she's also close to the information in the stock markets and what's going around the money printer, what it affects. It's just it's unfair.
Yeah,
And
inside tradings and
cryptocurrency
stuff.
was invented. Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin because he saw that. He knew we had to fight back. We had to decouple away from this system and give the power back to the people, us, me and you,
Yeah.
for true financial freedom. Not in the sense of like the money in your bank financial freedom, but the way we transact, like you said, peer-to-peer,
Yeah.
censorship-resistant transactions. This is a beautiful thing. And one of the words I love in crypto is called permissionless. What in our life is permissionless? The money we use is not permissionless. It's controlled by the government. The banks. If you go down there and take an ATM deposit or a withdrawal, I'm sorry, you need permission. If you use your credit card at dinner, you're requiring a third party permission to spend that money. We need permission in all our finances and almost anything we do in this world. It's disgusting. And permissionless is a human right. And we just don't have it anymore. We've been like the boiling frog, being boiled over decades, and to the point where like now we don't notice it. And true cryptocurrency is permissionless. For example, my brother sent me, it was around like 20K worth of Pulse Chain, which is just a cryptocurrency, for I can create some node validators for some mining for him. He did it at 2 o'clock in the morning. He's in Arizona. I'm in Puerto Rico. I received that transaction in about 10 seconds, and there was no third party middleman that needed to approve that. It was beautiful. It's permissionless. And we need more of that in our lives, in our financial part of our lives, to have that true self-sovereignty. And cryptocurrency is the only thing that's going to give it to us. And that's why I'm so passionate about crypto in general, and what it could do for us and humanity. It solves a problem for humanity if we're going to allow it. Now, of course, man's good at effing things up, and they're already trying to mess with this asset class because they see the threat on
Yeah.
the table. And so it'd be interesting to see how this plays out. We're going to see it play out in our lifetime, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an interesting world that my youngest daughter, she's 3, right? She's very young. And when she's my age, man, I can't imagine the world that she's going to live in. But it's going to be, man, like you said, CBDCs, that's full socialism, that's full governmental control. That's basically the fiat Ponzi system they have now in crypto. They want to get their control on
Yeah.
you because they see the problem with crypto, the problem for them. Now, you're right, because it
Of
is a
course.
cure for us. And so
Yes.
it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Yeah, but I mean, really, cryptocurrency, man, in a lot of ways, it resonates the same way, all my spiritual studying, my closeness with God, everything I've gone in, that part is on a higher level than like the fiat Ponzi system. Let's go work a 9 to 5. I'm owned by the government because I owe all this debt, right? Debt is complete control. It's modern day enslavement
Yeah.
is what it is. And so like true cryptocurrency, it frees us of that, man. It does.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
And not only that, I mean, the world we are moving in, I mean, you don't get the, you don't get food very soon,
Exactly.
That's like, you want food? Well, we got another one for you. So what do you do when it's all CBDC? Like it's a total control. People don't
Total
understand
control.
that. That's what I'm trying to enlighten people now. This is like people think crypto is just to make money. This is like a bonus,
No.
guys. You can make money, you can get
Can.
wealthy,
Yeah.
crazy, but it's the bonus. It's not about this. It's not about just getting some cash to buy a stupid car. Who cares, guys? I mean, you need to understand. It's like this is freedom we're doing here. We're working for freedom. We want to be free. That's what we want. That's what I want. Of course, it goes up and I have extra cash. Oh, I will be happy. But if I have freedom, if I can trade with you, with other people, like you come for a trade with me, I take crypto. I
Yeah.
don't want your dollars.
That's
It's
great.
like I need your crypto because I want to keep it and it's mine and no one can take. No
No.
filthy hands can touch
Yes.
my money. You know,
Yes.
that's what I want my crypto. And then as adoption grows, we can trade with each other and many people, provide different services so we can do all the stuff. We can leave, we can transact. The freedom of transact is the actual freedom because you can just
That a human
ignore.
right.
Yeah, exactly. It's a right. It's like it's absolutely. I transact with who I want. That's it. That's my choice to pay you, and your choice to pay me without anyone be
Yes.
involved or get a fee. A part of this. Why I need to give you a part of my hard-earned money?
And why do
Screw
you got
you.
to prove
You know what
my
I mean?
hard-earned money? Who are you to approve my
It's all
hard-earned
tyranny.
money?
People just got
It
so
is.
used to tyranny that it's like all normalized. Nothing is normal for me. For me, it's all bullshit. It's
Yes.
tyranny that I hate in my guts. You know what I mean? And with crypto, finally, we have a tool to fight it, really. To fight it without actually fighting, without violence. It's just to fight it just by like, you know what? That's it. That's how we
Yep.
fight it. You know what I
Get
mean? I
off
have
the
my
system.
money, I'm off your system and that's it. I do what I want and I share and I transact with people and they transact with me. That's what needs to happen. And banks out of it. They
Out of
cannot
it.
do anything. They cannot freeze their accounts. I mean, remember what happened in Canada? Man,
Yep.
for giving sandwich to a driver
The
who like
truckers.
a trucker who just sitting there like minus 20 whatever. It was like winter time. They freeze your bank account. Your
Yes.
money that you work for. What the hell? What right you have to freeze my money that I work on, pay a fucking taxes on that, and now you freeze my money because I support the freedom movement? This is like Orville on steroids. If people
Yep.
don't understand this, like, this thing makes me
It's
angry, man.
evil at its finest.
It's
It
just
really is.
absolute evil. So you already have seen that. People have seen that. It's not like we're not imagining a world of dystopia. We are living this now, guys. It happened 4 years ago. It actually happened. We know that happened, and it can happen again.
It
So,
will happen again.
oh, for sure. I
100%.
mean, it was all a beta
100%.
test. It will be more. So this is the time to get off the system, and create our own system. That's what I write in my books. A better system where we can manage our lives without governments, without banks, and all that stuff. And in my book I go like deep into the stuff. Like this is just kind of
That's great.
highlights. But that's just the energy. It makes me so angry, man. I'm telling you. This is why I love crypto. This is why I believe in crypto. This is why I'm
Yes.
doing crypto. This is why I've chosen Richard Hart crypto overall because we can talk about that too because it's like he is the guy who understands the same thing we understand. He's just a guy with
Yes.
a lot of money. It's like, but he understands freedom. He fights for freedom, and
And he's fighting
he's
the SEC right now.
yeah,
Get us
for
that freedom.
us, SEC,
For us.
the corrupt SEC that just nuked our crypto.
Yeah.
The Met Garage just destroyed our crypto, man. I mean, and it's like he's fighting them now. using 11 lawyers and millions of dollars, whatever. So I stand with Richard Hart 100%.
Yeah.
Not because I want my bags to pump. Of course, I want that too. But
Yeah.
he's for real.
Yes.
He's for real, and he believes in that, and I believe in the same thing, and that's why I stand with it. And this is powerful movement, which is now being completely under attack of the government agencies.
Yeah, it
So
was all planned, man. The three-letter agencies are all working for obviously the governmental control that, wants complete, in my opinion, we're moving towards socialism if they would allow
yeah,
it. But that's what they want. They're using the three-letter agencies at their disposal for that. I mean, part of the reason why I live in Puerto Rico, man, is because I don't want to pay the other three-letter agency all my taxes. Like, are you kidding me?
exactly.
They're talking about now next, if the one administration gets in the office, 45% on unrealized gains. They want to take all the power from you.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah,
open your eyes and see this. And that's what they do. And and they're going to continue doing it until we, the people, stand up. And we have to use tools to do this. And cryptocurrency is just one of those tools. That's all it is. Just one of those tools to be able to give the power back to us and
yes.
away from them. They are threatened by it. And so they're sending their little cronies out, their little three-letter agency. They attack everywhere to try to shut it down and push it out of the United States, because unfortunately that's what it's doing. All these cryptocurrency, creators, founders are all going overseas. Hopefully that shift changes if next year, if we get, if the government, the presidential regime changes. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll see. He's saying one thing, of course. Another thing can happen after he gets in office. They like doing that. But either way, it don't matter what they do. If you are in true decentralized finance cryptocurrency, you have the freedom. It doesn't matter who the president it is. It doesn't matter what three-letter agencies is. Now people are gonna fight them, and they should, to keep the attack from on us, at bay. Which that's what Richard Hart's doing, man. He is fighting. I mean, it's costing millions and millions of dollars. He's using 15 or 14, can't remember, of Elon Musk attorneys to go and fight against the SEC. And so I support it 100%. I
100%.
support that they're attacking freedom of movement, freedom of speech, freedom to transact, all the things that are our God-given human rights. And it's under attack. And cryptocurrency is the one thing that solves that.
Yeah, I completely agree. And when I come to your show like next week or whenever you have time, I will share my
Yeah.
personal story with the SEC. I have something to share with people.
Oh,
Not now. I just don't want to take the time
we'll
from
get
you
into it.
now.
Yeah,
You know
we'll
what I
get
mean?
into
So
it. That'll be good. That'll be
it's just
good.
connected to how I got to crypto and the Ponzi I got in, and it's and losing money. It's I will share with people this.
Yeah.
So it's I will just make a few points that will show you that SEC is not working for you guys.
They don't know that. I'll
They're
make
not
no
working for
mistake
you.
about that. No three-letter agency is working for you. Like I said, that's why
Against
I'm
you. Against
against
you.
you.
Against
That
you.
is totally 100%. In the US, the one place that I knew I could go to not basically pay taxes on my gains and pay taxes on money I earn was Puerto Rico. It's a tax haven. It's the one place I can go and not give up my citizenship. I mean, I would even go down there if it gets bad enough and Puerto Rico gets taken away from us. I mean, I care about my family, my loved
Yeah.
ones. I would give up my citizenship if it gets bad enough here with the corrupt governments in the US.
Yeah,
I
of
just don't know,
course.
I don't know what the future holds. Like I told you, man, it's going to be a different world. I'm 47 right now, and it's a different world from when I was a kid. I remember being a kid and how the world has
For
evolved
sure.
in a lot of technology and seeing it evolve. Some of it's been evil, some of it's been good. And it's going to be different, man. How my daughter, who's 3, I try to envision that all the time. And, frankly, it kind of keeps me up at night sometimes because you care for them. You're like, what world are you going to be in?
Oh,
When
exactly.
you're 47, when you're my age, how is it going to look? And the only thing we can do is us, have to stand up for them.
Well, one thing for sure, if Democrats will retain power, then it's not going to be a pretty world.
Not going to be a pretty
So,
world, man. And that's where I would think
uh,
about, like, if I got to renounce my citizenship and go somewhere that's better, I will. I don't want to do that, but like, once again, I'm that boiling frog. I have stepped out of the water a bit. I got one leg out, and I'm
mhm.
looking in. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, if they keep doing this, eventually I have to leave.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't come to that, because there are a lot of good things about the United States. There are a lot of good things, the founding fathers
Yeah,
tried
of
to envision
course.
and create, right, with this country, but like they're slowly just stripping it away. Just slowly, just like, oh my, once again, it's just the boiling frog in the water. That's the best
That's
analogy I
exactly
can think
right.
of.
It's exactly right. It's like I see exactly what's happening, and I've been following for a long time. You
Yeah.
know, so it's interesting that we're sharing this in common too. I have two daughters, 6 and 13, and I'm 48, just a year over you.
Okay,
So
yeah. So we're the same age.
76, so you're 77.
77, January. Yep.
Uh-huh. So like half a year because I'm
Yeah,
July
I'm coming up on my
76.
birthday soon, man. I got
Okay,
the
so
years
it's like
are
6 months. Yeah, we're like 6 months
yeah.
apart. Although my journey was in four countries. I'm like born in Ukraine, immigrated to Israel, immigrated to America, and then immigrated to Peru. I'm
Okay.
triple immigrants, so I've seen life in different places. And that's
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, I have a bit deeper understanding of reality than many people, just based on life experiences. So, and of course, plant medicine and all that thing. We can
Yeah.
talk about it later. Just now, I want to talk let's talk more about the crypto we are doing, like Richard Hart stuff, and why you have chosen this as your preferred crypto
Oh,
investment.
absolutely, man. And I'll kind of give the story how I got into crypto and stuff. Obviously I got into crypto. This is the beginning of last cycle. So this is back in 2000, like 19, 20. I got into crypto. I was doing well in real estate. And I was looking, for other money making ideas, right? And that's once again the money's what grabbed me. Like, God knows, man, he knows how to get my attention. I tell you, it works every time. And I got into crypto because, I was like, man, there's a lot of millionaires and billionaires born. In fact, a fun statistic in 20 and 21, which was the bull run last cycle,
Mhm.
there was 88,000 millionaires and billionaires born during those 2 years. And another fun statistic is it was more millionaires and billionaires born during those 2 years than any other asset class in the world during
Ever.
those 2 years. So even including real estate. So it's really remarkable because we're very early to this asset class. And anytime you're early to any investment or asset, you can do quite well. And we're still really early because the adoption hasn't fully taken in on crypto yet. And so like, yeah, so I got in, I started playing, I around just on centralized exchanges, not understanding that that's not true crypto. And then I started doing a lot of research and digging, and I started playing around on some decentralized finance. We call it DeFi for short, for your listeners. And I started playing in the Phantom ecosystem, the AVAX ecosystem, gaming tokens. I used to be big into gaming. I love video games. I rarely play them anymore. I try to fit it in a little bit once in a while, but like I just don't have time for them. But I
Mhm.
love gaming. So that was another attraction is like they have these gaming tokens that were attached to video games and you could earn them and play in the game. And so that kind of got me interested too. And I made some money, lost some money, nothing crazy. But then my friend, who I'm partnered with on my podcast and our mastermind that we have, his name is Dane. He's like, "Hey man, have you ever heard of this cryptocurrency called Hex?" And he knew I was already exploring around in crypto. I was like, "No, tell me more." And he's like, "Well, it did a 10,000x." And this guy who created it, he's creating another crypto called PulseX. I had missed the Pulse Chain sacrifice. Pulse Chain is the layer one blockchain that everything's built on, kind of like a Phantom and AVAX and Ethereum. As some of your listeners, they might be a little bit confused. It's just the city that's built, and then you put all the businesses in the city. That's what the layer one is. The layer one is a city. And so, but PulseX was having a money raise, and I was like, nah, let me check this guy out. And so, to your point earlier, I started watching him And he embodied all the things I look for in a good founder, a good, like, anytime I go into a real estate investment deal or a development, if I'm not the operator, I invest in the operator. Like, I want a guy who knows what he's doing. He understands the business. He understands how to create value in that business. I want somebody who basically kind of beats his own drum and understands at a very deep level. Even if he has an ego, that's fine. I can see through an ego. Ego is the biggest killer of opportunity. You have to be able to see through ego sometimes and to see their opportunity in that person. And that was Richard Hart, 100%, man. And he's an entrepreneurial at heart. He's been an entrepreneur for a very long time. He was on a mission, with using crypto as a tool for freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom to transact, the things that we value so much. And man, he just, go over all the different ideologies behind this. And he really bought me in. Man, this guy, and he'd expose scammers too. He'd sit there and expose scammers. He'd expose stuff that, that will fail. In fact, he called out like FTX, Celsius, BlockFi, all the things that failed last cycle. He called it out before even they failed. He's like, man, these are, Ponzi's or scams. These guys are not having your best interest in mind. And that stuff really stuck to me. And so I invested in the PulseX, what they called the sacrifice, which is just basically the initial money raised before they launch. And I did that. And then, of course, I kept digging into the community. And I found there's this massive community that have this same ethos. And I was like, holy crap, this is like an amazing opportunity that I was seeing. I was like, wow, community like this, beating the drum, the same drum that he's beating, this is an opportunity because this is going to explode. That's how Bitcoin became so massive. They used to call the Bitcoin guys the cult of Satoshi. And that's because they were. And these guys were the same way. I was like, man, and the tech is good. It's DeFi. It's everything we embody for values. There's this community. The code's good. And so I stuck, man. I've even started doing a lot of content in the community. I got my own show, very similar to how you got your show with your community, and talking about all the different protocols launching on Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain is the layer 1 blockchain that he built. And in that time, of course, the SEC has attacked him for building Pulse Chain, PulseX, saying that it's a security, and it's clearly not. And he's going on to his first court date to see if we're going to get it dismissed in October. There's a lot of good case law that support him. Like I said, he's got like 11 or 14 of Musk's best attorneys. And there's a lot of good evidence that's showing that they don't have a case. Even when they attacked him with the initial lawsuit, the whole thing has holes in it and it's written wrong. They don't know anything about the blockchain. There was a bunch of misinformation about that. They said, I think it said that they launched Pulse Chain like on Uniswap or something. I mean, it was crazy. There's so much misinformation. That's the point I was trying to make there. But if and when he wins this, right now, the opportunity is freaking massive because your job as an investor in general, your job as an investor is to spot opportunity and to spot inefficiencies in the marketplace. Right now, we're in that zone where it's just no one's paying attention to it. Everyone thinks maybe it could get, the SEC could shut it down, which they can't. It's fully decentralized, which is great. You have
Powerful.
50,000 node validators around the world. Around the world. I'm running nodes out of here to Puerto Rico. Around the world, they have to shut them all off at the same time to be able to shut down Pulse Chain. You can't do that.
Impossible.
It's impossible. We, the people, have the power again. We, the people, have the power.
That's why I love Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain.
Massive.
It's just you can't shut down.
Yeah. So right now is the opportunity, I think. This is never financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor or CPA. I don't play one on TV. This is what I speculate on my money and my beliefs, but I'm able to put the grander picture together with the pieces of the puzzle, if you will. You do have to step back and look at everything. But man, I think it's one of the greatest opportunities that I probably will see in one of my lifetimes. And I get to be on the right side, of the before the big news takes place, the big thing,
Right.
transpires, and he's going to fight for our freedom. And I get to be on the right side of that and actually invest. It's like being a surfer, and you're always going out in the ocean trying to catch that wave, and you're always a little too late because a wave already came and
Mm,
everyone already caught it. This is like, for me, it's like literally I'm out there. I'm like one of the only ones out there. Of course, there's the community, but like I'm out there, and then I can see a tidal wave coming, like, and I'm able to like get ready and surf that wave. That's what the way I look at it is. It
mm,
right now, it's the opportunity of me and my family's lifetime to change the trajectory of our family
no.
tree. And we want to use cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool. And then we like real estate still. We like using
Yeah.
real estate as a wealth preservation tool. And these are just tools, guys, tools to be able to give us our freedom, right? And help the world be a better place. I have a passion. I want to open up sober living facilities
Mm,
because of my history. And
mhm,
we actually joined a mastermind where the guy who owns the mastermind, that's what he does. He runs sober living facilities. He
mm,
does well for himself. And so like it's God guiding me again, saying, hey, well, when this plays out, this is probably your part of your next move, because I want to help people
mhm.
get sober and have the same journey that I had the opportunity to have, if people want it, right?
Yeah, of
And not
course.
everyone wants it, but like I want to be able to provide that. How do you provide that? It takes a lot of money.
Well, of
Able
course,
to do that.
as a side note, I can greatly assist you in that if you want. I mean, we help people with addictions here, alcohol,
Yeah, maybe that's
drugs.
why we're
That's
maybe that's why we're crossing paths.
like I have a part, many people of the group now. I mean, this is like, people coming from alcohol and drugs and heavy drugs, and also
Yeah,
plant medicine can easily help you if you put your time in it and commit to healing, and we can help with this. It's like, I myself is I'm leading by example. I've been through that. I've been in everyone's shoes pretty much. That's why when I speak, people listen. I'm not just here, next door therapist, man, or preacher. I've been there. I've
right.
been I've been in the bus stations, and I've been in the in the places where normal people don't go. You know what I mean? So, and I've went through them and grew through them and created a wonderful life for myself, for my family, and for people who come for
Awesome.
healing here. So that's just a side note. It's like, to help people to get sober, and we can help.
I'm
You know,
passionate about it, man, because
that's
I
just
mean,
a
yeah, I
that's just
understand.
separate as
Yeah,
another point. But talking back to Paul chain, that's a very powerful point, that it cannot be shut down. That's
it
why,
can't be.
man, it's like I am like deep. I'm all in on Richard Hart, man. It's like sometimes I think like, man, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I've done the worst. Maybe I'm like a reckless investor, and maybe I'm not even an investor. Maybe I'm just a gambler, a reckless gambler who
Right.
have lost his mind, and now following Richard Hartman, and went all in with all the money. And we're talking six figures, man. It's like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, me too.
and I live in Peru, man. Six figures here is like, it's like $1 million where you are.
It's a lot of
You know what I
money.
mean? So I'm like, sometimes I'm like, are you serious, man? Are you still doing this? I've been DCAing all the way from
Me
12
too.
cents X.
Me
Hex
too.
was, I think I came was 12 and a half, something like 13.
I started at 30 cents.
Oh,
I ran all the way down, and I've been able to get my cost basis way down. And I'm blessed to be able to get my cost basis way down because I still make money in the real world. I'm able to bring that money into crypto and use crypto as a tool to leverage to grow. But I mean, I know exactly what you're saying. I've also had those times of thoughts where like, man, is this like the wrong time
yeah.
or wrong ecosystem? And that is the biggest bottom indicator for me. I remember when I was
Mhm.
putting money in after the SEC news came out at
Oh,
the
I
L.
bought. I bought like 10K on Gary Gensler. I said, "What? You
I did
crazy,
too.
man?" I'm like, "You can't do
After
this thing." I'm like, "Man, this is the
I,
time." He
uh-huh.
nuked
And I
the
felt sick to
prices.
my stomach.
Oh, I felt like yeah, I couldn't sleep. I was like, "What am I doing?" I mean, you can't do this. People
Yeah.
like panicking, selling, running away. I said like, but the voice in my head is like, man, this is when you do this. Like, I don't know how I found the courage to do this, man. It's like I had to be a believer, a strong believer of Richard Harden
Yes.
ecosystem to do it, because when you see the red candle really drops and you like, and everybody like, panic, that's it, we are being nuked. And I'm like, okay, I have this 10K here, man. Boom, whatever, So I've done it. It's like, and I felt like, a few times I felt like, man, am I throwing money away? I mean, like literally putting them in a trash can. That's, you have
Yeah,
this.
that's how I felt.
Do I actually
And
take money and throw them away instead of use it for my family? Yeah, yeah.
yes,
Many, like maybe
exactly.
3 times, like hardcore. Like 3 times
Exactly.
hardcore. I came close to that, to my limits. That
In
was.
in history, the guys who believed had the most faith when it was the darkest and went in the hardest when it was the darkest
That's the
are
winners.
the
Yeah.
ones who come out victorious in the end. And so like
Yep.
you just look at the underlying fundamentals, like the community, what the ethos is, how the chain is built. If you want to look at the technicals, if you want to look at technical analysis on the charts, TA guys, like there's a guy named Pip Sniper. I'll just give you a really cool perspective. This guy, he's a trader, but he's not a Richard Hart ecosystem trader. He's a cryptocurrency trader. And that's what he does for a living. And he's noticed our ecosystem in the last month. And he's like, oh, this is interesting. Look at all these, he's doing all this technical analysis that I don't know. I know a little bit. I don't know at a very deep level, but he's a professional trader. He's been doing it for like, decades before crypto. He was doing the stock market, and he sees our ecosystem now. And he's like, oh, well, hey, look, Pulse X is probably going to do 100X. Here's why. Boop, 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 boop. And he points it all out on the TA. And he's like, and now he's very interested in all our price charts. And he sees massive opportunity. And why I love that is because he's not in our community. So he doesn't have like all the emotion and biases and all the stuff that, yeah. He's just a outside trader who makes money at trading these kind of charts. And he sees our chart and goes, oh, opportunity. I love that. I love that we're starting to bring people like that in now. They're starting to notice us. I mean, obviously we knew it because we've been here and we've been, we know all the underlying fundamentals and what, the community and the code.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. But now other people who are very good at spotting opportunity are starting to see this too. And so, yeah, that's, you do have to see the greater picture. You got to put the puzzle pieces together where we're at in the cycle. You have to be a student of market cycles. I've been a very, very advocate student of market cycles and where we're at in the cycle. And it's funny because even Pulse Chain, where we're at in the cycle, is exactly where AVAX is at, where Phantom is at. Almost all blockchains, even Ethereum, except for Solana. Solana's been kind of the outlier of this cycle. But even when we had our first little pump, all the cryptocurrencies did. We call it the pre-Bitcoin halving altcoin season. Pulse Chain did pretty good, actually. If you measure from the bottom, you got to measure from the bottom. Pulse Chain did a 5x. Pulse X did a 7x. The Ink token did a 17x. And that's the first altcoin season. And AVAX only did a 3x. Phantom did a 5x. Like we were beating other blockchains minus Solana. Solana was the outlier of this cycle so far, and that's fine. We don't have to be the top performing one. We don't have to be. I don't need to be. I don't need to have hundreds of X's. It'd be nice, of course, but like that's, and the next altcoin season is estimated to start around November-ish, which is kind of odd. That's around when the court date is.
Yeah. Well,
It's
that's what we
funny how
need.
things line up. That's
That's what
also
we
when
need.
the presidential election is. It's funny how, like, in the greater scheme of things, that we're just like, it's for me, it's like we're in a movie and we're just like participating in the script. It's already been written, but you just have to believe and see the greater picture and believe. That's the biggest part is you got to believe and
Yeah.
see it. And you got to do it. The only way you can do that by stepping back. And so, yeah, it's going to be an interesting ride, man. I'm glad you're along this ride with us. It's super
You
cool.
know, we just need a few. We just need. He just need to wins. You know, man. I think it will happen
Yes.
because you know they put a gag on the guy. He can't speak. He can't promote the ecosystem, and we
Yep.
need that. You know, because here is the thing: what people don't understand. You know, you see some people saying like we don't need it. That's not true, guys. You just don't understand. We need a leader. The leader has to
I
be
say it
there.
all the time
It's
on
not
my
like
show.
I need. I don't need a leader. I'm a leader of my life, but I'm talking about leader
Yes.
of cryptocurrency community. Why? I explain you why. Because people saying, "Oh, Satoshi, quit after 2 years." Okay, guys, but you don't understand something. There was no others when he quit. There was just a one thing in town. So of
One
course
thing.
he could quit. But now we have a millions of coins, thousands
Millions
of,
of ecosystems.
what I mean? It's like the competition is great. You need a leader, a powerful
Yes.
leader to lead that. Because otherwise it just will not. I don't see this really without him. You know what I mean? It's like he need to come back. He need to stream. He need to kind of beat the
Yep.
drum again, and he
Yep.
can't do it now because
Uh,
obviously he's in a.
his attorneys
It's
are
a
telling him no.
lawsuit. Of course,
Yep.
it's like I know how it works. You know, it's like, hey, everything you said can be used against you. You just shut up and let us
100%.
work. So he's like,
Right.
okay, man, just let's get it done because, like, everything's like the red candles just being, growing bigger. So we need to get this done. But when he comes back, that can be
It's
reversed.
over.
Like it can
It's
be
over.
reversed like in a day, like literally in a
Yes.
one day. Boom! Everybody forgot everything, and then ETH. We need ETH to go up, and then
We need
all
ETH to
this.
go.
It's like
Yeah.
it's
ETH is
important,
wrecked.
man. It's wrecked. It's like it's when that happens. Imagine he rotates money
Yep.
there, causing crazy FOMO. I mean, that's it. It's all over. So that's what I told myself. I miss Bitcoin. I miss Ethereum. I miss Solana. I miss everything. I just got into
Right.
crypto like 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, after the bull run and on the way down. So I'm like, I'm not missing this train, man. I'm like, this is
This is
that's
it.
maybe the last opportunity. I'm not missing it. It's like I'm here to stay. I'm not selling. It's like I'm holding myself here. I'm holding my back strong, man. It's like whatever.
Yep.
It's like not even that. I'm like thinking about September now, and like, okay, maybe just last DCA in September. I mean, it's just
September
like,
might be the last opportunity to DCA. If you want these low
mm,
prices, perhaps, right? If we start catching some altcoin season, October, November, going into the court case, I think we'll see some traders starting to pump up the
mm,
price. You always have the buy the rumor, sell the news
yeah,
kind of thing going on. That could happen going into the court case, right? And I think September, man, typically Bitcoin also goes down, which is the whole cryptocurrency markets are kind of dictated what Bitcoin does. But if Bitcoin starts going up in October, well, now we will too. Now we might not go flying to the moon, but if you want these deep depressed prices,
yeah,
September might be the last opportunity. I could be wrong about that. Once again, it's not financial advice. I'm not a
yeah.
financial advisor, but that's studying markets. I study the cycles on a very deep level. And it is telling us that in October, November is the start of the next altcoin season. And so the last altcoin season, even under the SEC's
Yeah.
attack, we did a 5x just on the layer one. There was a bunch of meme coins. I didn't catch a lot of those. I don't play a lot of meme coins. I play a little bit, but like there was a bunch of meme coins that did like 50x, 100x. That was crazy.
Mhm.
But like the next altcoin season's coming up, and right now, all of crypto is like this is bottom low. This is the moment before the real parabolic move starts
Mhm.
happening in crypto. 2025 is when really stuff really gets going. Like the top of the cycle should be somewhere around June, July of 2025, somewhere in that area. As we get closer, we can kind of track it more
Yeah.
accurately
No, you see the
because
trends,
they move. Yeah, the fractals move a little bit one way or the other. But man, right now we're about 95% on track from the last cycle. Like it's very almost like it's chilling, like how these things just repeat. It's just odd. I tell you, we're in a movie. The script's already written. We just have to find the clues and believe. That's all it is. That's all. And it's
Yeah, and
tough.
hold
It's
and
tough
hold. It's very
sometimes.
tough. Psychologically, it's a torture, man. It's like I've been
It is.
like
It
a 2.5
is.
years of psychological torture. It's like, man, it's
It's
just
been
like,
exactly that for me.
it's like, man, I mean, at some point I said, like, do I even look at the chart anymore? I mean, or I'll just kind of,
Yeah,
or just wait and just see some news and I will know what happens. You know what I mean? It's like,
that's it.
it's
And
just
then
too
for the
depressing, you
DCA,
know?
like I rarely look at the charts anyways. Like I'll do some TA stuff on it. I'm not the best TA
Mhm.
guy, but I'll do a little bit. And I like showing a couple things on my show once in a while. But like, yeah, I mean, the only time I'm really caring about price right now is like, okay, if I plan to do another, $10,000 clip this month. Okay, let's look at this. And I would like to obviously
Mhm.
catch, if you can catch a bottom. Like it's almost impossible to
It
catch a
just keeps falling, man.
bottom.
It just keeps falling. You know what I mean? It's like,
That's the
man,
problem. Like you put a bullet in and you're like, oh, well, then it goes
boom.
down another 10,
I should
20%.
wait until tomorrow.
Right,
It's like, why I
right,
need it today? Tomorrow
right.
it's a better. It's
That's
more
why
red.
this time around, I want to wait. I
Yeah.
think September could be it. I want to wait to see where it bottoms, and I want some price structure on the price, some sideways. The W print on sideways price structure with a higher low is always a really strong indicator that it's going to take off. There's things we can look at. Follow the TA guys, people like Pip Sniper, who's not in our community. He's unbiased,
I'm biased,
unemotional.
yeah.
Follow him because he's going to give you the real news. Hans is another good one that's in our community, but I feel like he still does a good job of keeping his emotion out of the technical analysis. Follow guys who are smarter than us at
Mhm.
that stuff, and then like see what they're saying, and then and make the best decision you can make on your DCA. But like the good thing about this is no matter where you place your DCA in these levels, we're closer to the bottom than we are to the top. When we get going, it ain't gonna matter where you place. I mean, it will a little bit, but like when we get going, man, it's gonna surpass your DCA spot so fast, and you'll be in profit. Like it'll make your head spin. I remember when we did the 5X, I was DCAing down in those SEC lows, and once we started pumping, I was like, holy, my portfolio, like, I mean, it was
Yeah.
almost instantaneously. My portfolio just boom, like
Explodes.
exploded. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, man, all those sick moments when I was DCA and paid, I was like, oh, I'm like, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I feel better now. I feel better. Yeah, it's
And
just some
we're
medicine. Some
yeah, and we're
medicine.
back in there now. We're back in those lows again. And once again, it's the same story. And I think towards the end of the year, you're going to be a very happy camper. And for even your listeners, if they want to get involved, right
Mhm.
now is the time. If you've ever been thought about, cryptocurrency, you don't have to. This is never financial advice. I get it. But like, yeah, this could be the opportunity for me to really change the trajectory of your family tree. I always tell
Yeah.
people, there's one person I believe in every family tree that's given that is there for a purpose to break the chains of mediocrity in that family tree. Mediocrity meaning the 9 to 5 enslavement and debt enslavement that most
Yeah.
people have to go through and live their life like a zombie almost
Yeah.
like a zombie. I feel like, is like my duty. I
Yeah.
am my
As a
part of
father,
my
yes.
purpose, my father, to
Yeah.
break that chain of mediocrity, that
Yeah.
curse of mediocrity
You're definitely
from this.
correct. I'm that
The
guy. I'm that guy in my
one,
family.
the one, right?
I'm the guy, man.
And
To break the
crypto is
vicious
just a
cycle,
tool. Yeah, it's just a tool
you
that we're going to
know?
use to facilitate the one. And at the same time, what I love is all the ethos and the underlying part of why cryptocurrency was invented and what the vision was of Satoshi.
Mm,
It resonates with me. I embody it. I love freedom, freedom from my spirit,
yeah,
body, mind,
absolutely.
and finances. It's part of the
Absolutely.
whole equation.
I totally agree with you. Everything you say is correct. I resonate with that. And I feel like it would be good for us to chat because we're kind of on the same
Yeah, man.
page.
I would love to meet you in person too. Maybe I'll come down
Yeah.
to Peru.
Oh,
Puerto Rico is not
beautiful.
too horribly far from South America. I'll be in Panama
Oh,
in January, Randy Hilarski is a community member. I love
Uh-huh.
Randy. He's doing an event in Panama, so I'll be down there in
Panama, it's 4
January.
hours away. 4 hours.
You're close, man.
Yeah,
Maybe
four
you could
hours.
hop up.
You
Maybe you could
can,
hop up to Panama while we're down
but
there.
actually, we are planning a vacation to Cartagena, which is Colombia. That we like to go
Yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
that's probably like end of January. It depends on this monkeypox bullshit and what
I
they
think,
trying to pull. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it depends on the world. If the world is cool, we're going. It's how
World might
we.
be cool, but the cryptocurrencies should be okay. Like I don't know if the world will be cool or not.
But if we go
We got a
there.
long ways to go. The world really needs a full awakening spiritually before.
For sure. But the thing
Yeah,
is, like, if we're there, that would be closer. Cartagena for Panama, it's just like next door, you know?
yeah.
We just love to sit on the beach there and enjoy with
There'll be
family,
a
you
lot of us
know?
down there. There'll
And
be a lot of us down
but
there.
if not, man, if you want to jump to Peru, it's like a 4 hours
I
to
would love
Lima,
to go to
an hour
Peru.
here. You can chill
Would
with it.
love to go to
We're
Peru.
closing down on January, February. It's our vacation time, so the healing
Okay,
center is closed. It's a kids' vacation from school. It's our summer here. So I'm working until the end of the year, and then until March I'm off, and that's it. So no
beautiful,
work, nothing. I'm just here, chilling with my
beautiful.
family. So
Yeah,
that's always an option if you want to come. So maybe to wrap up, it's like, what's your do you have any preference in richer hard coins, one over other? Like if people
that's a
want to
really
look into it.
that's a really great question. and my opinion is shifted on
Mm.
them, through this, this journey that I've been on with the Richard Heart ecosystem. I believe I don't know the answer to this. Okay, that's first and foremost. I could be wrong, and that's fine. And so if I am wrong, I accumulate all four of the Richard Heart ecosystem coins pretty evenly. Pulse chain is the underlying blockchain. You have to own it for the gas. You need to own it if you want to create some node validators, by the way, for your audience. Node validators is a way of making passive income every single day. Just gets dropped in your wallet. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. So that's Pulse. PulseX is the decentralized exchange that lives on the layer one. What's really cool about the PulseX token is that it gets bought and burnt on every transaction being done on that centralized exchange. So it's almost in a way kind of like a passive income, but it's not directly hitting your wallet. It's hitting the token, which is really cool. And then you have the incentive token. I love that token. It's the when you're providing liquidity, which, to make it easy for your listeners, just basically you're the guy who's offering the assets up for the market to trade in and out of. That incentive token is paid to you for providing that liquidity. So it's another passive income play in crypto, but the incentive token is what's paid to you. And we saw in the first little altcoin season in January, February, March, we saw the incentive token in PulseX do the best. The incentive token did a 17x. PulseX did between a 7 and a 9x. So we saw these two do really well on that first little bump up that we had. So I try to listen to the market and say, okay, is that what's going to continue through the cycle? Because we're not done with the cycle. We have a lot more to go. Or is it going to shift? I don't know. But I do want to listen to that. So I am paying attention a lot more than I was prior to that. Prior to that, I hardly had any incentive token. I had PulseX. I was doing some liquidity providing, but it wasn't like my focus incentive token and PulseX. Like now, I have okay. So I've been accumulating a lot more of those tokens. Now, I could be wrong, and Pulse and even Hex. Hex has been around for a full cycle now. It's possible it could really run if Richard Hart wants it to in this next cycle. Now, it didn't really get much movement in that first altcoin season. So once again, I want to listen to the market and okay, is the market telling me it's not this cycle is not going to be on Hex? It's going to be on the new tickers, which would make sense. But then again, Hex is Richard Hart's first baby, so I don't think he's just going to let that out to dry for the entire cycle. So my plan is I accumulate all of them, with me thinking, okay, Ink and PulseX will probably run the hardest. So I might accumulate a tad bit more of those than I have been, but I still have a bag of all of them because I'm not here to be right or wrong. I'm here just to ride this journey with everybody, make some money, be part of this, I think, very pivotal moment in crypto history, being on the right side of it. And yeah, that's my thoughts on it, man. It's hard to really like nail down and say, like, okay, which ones are going to do the best. But I do try to look at what the market has told us thus far. But that could change. I mean, people like Hans, he does very in-depth technical analysis on all four of the RH tickers. He thinks the next altcoin season, he thinks Pulse is going to run the hardest. It'll be interesting to see. And I hold Pulse. If it does, great. I love Pulse. Pulse is the layer one, and yeah. But you know, at the end of the day, we don't know what the market will choose or what some of these bigger wallets will choose. We do know two wallets that hold over 318,000 Ethereum, 170,000 Ethereum in one wallet, which is what we call the origin address. It's the creator of the ecosystem. And then the other wallet holds the remainder. 318,000 Ethereum that likes to come in and buy up this stuff. So how do we predict which stuff of the, he's going to buy? We don't know. And so that's why, like, you know what? I'll buy all of them. Although I kind of see this one moving a little bit more, but we'll see. I mean, I would love to see Hex move hard. That would be great, man. Because it's, it hasn't really caught much attention yet in this cycle. So maybe its turn will come. There's always like a saying in crypto, like, no, it's not your cycle. It was just your turn.
Yeah,
that's a say. And who knows? Maybe it was PulseX and Ink's turn there, and we'll see the shift. I don't know.
Let's see. Do you have an eHex?
I do hold eHex. Yeah, I hold eHex. I did sell quite a bit when Richard was kind of like, saying, "Hey guys, come over. The Pulse Chain Hex is better." I sold them, but then when it kind of like it bottomed out, or when it was running sideways, I started accumulating again because I think it's nowhere
over.
No.
And the market is so slow, man. It's like it takes very little to pump this thing.
Oh, it's very little. And if you notice, RH or his devs just did an update to the Pulse Chain website and Hex front end and the website. There was an update. And on there before, it said the market chose Pulse Chain Hex. They removed it. They removed that. So is that a sign? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe Richard's like, okay, well, let the market just buy what they want. Yeah. But eHex, man, yeah, man, I think it's definitely worth a position in my portfolio because, like you said, man, I mean, it takes very little money to moon that thing. I mean, why not have a little bit in there if it goes? Plus I have stakes. I got stakes that have both hexes in there, and yeah, I'm positioned if that's a chosen one.
I don't know. I will have to see. But thank you very much for your sincere view on that, because I think that's the honest opinion, and it's like we don't know. Yeah. That's the honest answer. So
we don't know.
We just have to watch, and Hans is a great guy, man, but he's like a valerian to my mind. He puts me to sleep. It's hard to listen. He talks and I go sleep.
Like that because he has no emotion. The guy has like, no emotion.
No emotions, man.
And he's just reading the chart.
I'm like, man, it's like, it's like if I can't sleep at night, I'll put your video, you know what I mean? Just to help me sleep.
He'll put you to sleep.
You're not helpful to make decisions here, but he's a good guy, so it's just a joke.
Try listening to Pip Sniper, man. He's got a lot of good videos, so just subscribe to his YouTube. I mean, he's doing TA on everything, like XRP, Chainlink, all that. But he likes our ecosystem. He sees opportunity, and he does really good TA.
Well, Corey, I think it was a good conversation, and
it was, man.
I have another interview like in 15 minutes. So I just want to, if people want, I just want to recommend my audience to follow your YouTube channel because there's a lot of good information there, and they can learn a lot. And I'm personally watching you kind of daily, maybe not the whole thing, but I'm looking, I'm
Sure.
checking in, see what's happening there, you know.
Yeah.
So how people find you, the best way to find you, and you just, you know, and of course send me the links I will put in description, but you just say it
Yeah.
now. What's
Yeah, man,
the
it's real
channel?
easy, man. Corey Geary, literally how it's spelled here on the screen,
Mhm.
Corey Geary, Geary. You can almost find me anywhere, like
Mhm.
Facebook, you can find me, Instagram, you can find me. It's the Corey Geary on Instagram. On Twitter, it's Corey Geary _ I think 5555. You'll see me. I have it's my face with a pulse chain logo
Mhm.
over my face, but you can see my face. So Corey Geary there, and then I'm on YouTube. Yeah, I got a show that we do Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. EST or Atlantic Standard, because I'm in Atlantic Standard here in Puerto Rico. And we do it Monday through Friday for an hour to, hour and a half. And we talk everything crypto. We talk everything entrepreneur. Like on Monday, we talked about this book that I just read, Buy Back Your Time, which I'm
Mhm.
very passionate about. We went through some of the ideologies on this book. So it's not always crypto, even though I love crypto. And so yeah, we're that one there, man. Just type in Corey Geary. The name of the show is called DeFi Crypto Alliance, and that's how you know you found the right place. And just hit subscribe and watch us. Come on, and we do open mic Fridays. It's a lot of
Mhm.
fun. Where Friday I allow the community, anybody who wants to come on
Mhm.
the show, let's just talk anything money, anything crypto, real
Mhm.
estate, mindset, entrepreneur,
That's good.
spirituality. I don't care what it is. Come on, let's talk about it. Basically growth, right? Anything that's related to growth, I'm passionate about
Yes,
talking about.
I
And
agree.
that's it, man. I mean, yeah, just come find me, follow, and it's going to be a fun ride, man. I'm here for it.
Well, thank you very much for your time. It was a very good conversation.
Appreciate it.
So we can end
You.
here.